Hi everyone, this is Anna, and thank you for tuning in to Amores Patos. So this is the second part of our review of the Ducktales premiere, and I know it's a little bit awkward. We just hopped right back in because we weren't planning on splitting it. We didn't realize we'd be talking about ducks for 2.5 hours, so bear with us. I know this is a little bit awkward, but I promise that we'll plan better ahead in the future to avoid this kind of awkwardness. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the review. Part starts out with the intro theme, and it was really nice touch that they held it back until this point, because up until now these characters aren't together. Donald Scrooge isn't with the kids, and
they haven't interacted in 10 years.
Yes, Donald isn't in his suit until the end, in his new black sailor suit. And it's just a very nice touch that the theme isn't until the beginning of the second part.
Yeah, like now the adventures are going to start.
Yes.
Like now we have our team together and we're good to go.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a really nice touch. And so the second part starts with Glomgold's employee training video.
It's the best thing.
Which killed me. It's him. It points out how he just steals shit from everyone and makes it his own.
Yeah, and there's so much plaid.
So much plaid. Like, he not only wants to, in this Glomgold wants not only to be richer than Scrooge, but to be more Scottish than Scrooge. So he wears a kilt, he has that little hat with the pom-pom.
His employees,
like, there's a video of him in his office, and there's a bunch of ladies in kilts playing bagpipes.
Exactly. Like, what?
It's a very diverse group of ducks.
Mm-hmm. Also, like, diversity in the ducks. Like, bless you.
Yeah, very nice touch. The ducks aren't all white. They're variations of white to dark brown, which, nice. Thank you. Thanks. Also the dogs. Similarly, with the dogs. I can't speak. So he has this training video. It's really cute that he's showing to the criminals he's hired. There is, what's her name? There's Gabby McStabberson, who's like a ninja.
Yes, she studied the blade. And Slash and Hack Smashnikov, I think. Who vaguely remind me of the two brothers from Daredevil.
Yeah, the two Russian brothers whose Russian accents apparently sucked. I've heard from other people. I have no idea what Russian accents sound like. I've only
been exposed to Russian accents in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and that one sucked.
Yeah.
Because David McCallum, you sound British, not Russian.
Yes. So these are the team that Glomgold's put together, along with Donald, who is his sailor. And Glomgold's really funny in this.
He is.
He has this whole maniacal laugh, like, we're gonna find the treasure of Atlantis. Evil laugh, and like lightning on his boat, and then it's like, and then next scene, okay, so here's your employee
card,
your cards, like your, I forget what they are, like your ID cards.
Yeah.
He's like, good for 40% off life vest rentals.
Like, what?
Why don't you provide those?
And then, like, one of my favorite scenes is like it switches to him calling out Donald's name. And Donald doesn't respond because he's talking on the phone, and he gives my favorite, like, the
parent finger, like, I'm on the phone right now.
Yeah, I'm talking. Yeah. Like, no, don't interrupt me. I am doing something else.
Yeah, so he's on the phone with Scrooge, who is kidnapping the kids, because he does not tell Donald that he's taking his children to Atlantis.
No, he's like, we're just having a pretty chill day.
Yeah, pretty chill day. Like, the kids were fine. He's like, just worry about that job of yours.
Yeah.
And so I guess, like, the job interview turns immediately into a job. And so Donald has to have Scrooge watch the kids overnight.
Yeah.
And very nice detail, Scrooge is on the satellite phone, because he's in the middle of nowhere in the ocean, so a cell phone wouldn't have service. So really nice touch that he's using that sat phone. I noticed it when I first watched, and I'm like, oh shit, that's a nice touch. Especially since it's like we're seeing these old characters, these old-fashioned characters that we've known for forever with modern technology.
I think I wrote that down earlier. They don't ignore technology in the way some other shows do. That really, really bothers me. And especially I was looking at a review for a horror movie, and it's these characters act like cell phones don't exist.
Yeah.
And here it's they're very much using modern technology.
Oh yeah, very first scene of this whole premiere, Donald is using a smartphone.
Yeah,
which is weird if you think about it a lot, because this character is so old. We've never seen him in such a modern setting, but very nice touch. So they have cell phone. Scrooge with this fucking 2001 cell phone, flip phone, was a very nice touch. And then later with the sat phone. So this inclusion of modern technology is very nice.
I'm excited to see, because honestly, there were some instances that were in the OG, having
a cell phone
would have solved it.
Would have solved everything.
Sort of solved it.
It would have helped.
Yeah.
So they solved that. They have the phone, which is very nice. Yeah. So Scrooge is no, we're having a really chill day. Saying this as he's in the what's the opening?
I don't even know what it's called.
He has the hatch. The hatch is on the sub, and they're above the surface of the water. And he's yeah, we're having a really chill day. He's I can take care of these kids. Meanwhile, he's they're in the middle of the ocean.
And then Dewey pops up, and he starts
he's
shouting
he's
orders.
He's telling Launchpad to dive.
Dive.
Well, the hatch is still open.
and Launchpad is
and he was no, don't wait. But Launchpad, I guess, doesn't hear him and dives, and Scrooge has to hurry to close the hatch.
Fuck.
And also a very nice touch. The show is just full of really nice touches. Louie and Webby are pumping the water out.
Yeah. Louie, of course, with one arm.
Yes.
Just sort of doing
lazily,
it in a chill way.
And lies to Donald. Scrooge patches in the phone, and he lies to Donald, telling him that we're having a chill day, doing all people stuff.
Yeah, rubbing
ointment on our joints.
And Webby freaks out a little.
She's like, you lied.
Yeah.
Why weren't you telling the truth? And Louie's response is that you don't want people to worry. And that Webby didn't tell her grandmother, Mrs. Beakley, where she was going or that she was going anywhere at all. And so Louie's that's irresponsible.
That's even worse.
It's even worse. He's like, call your grandmother right now and tell her that you're spending the night at a friend's house. And he says, lying. Yeah. It's the responsible thing to do. Which is a nice look at Louie's character. This is the kind of guy he is. He does lie to reassure people, but also to use to his own benefit. Very nice touch for him.
It's a kid thing to do. I remember being in middle school, and I would take the bus home, and it's I would tell my mom oh, the bus is running a little late, but really we would get off at another stop and walk to I think it was a donut place. And then just walk home, and it's it was a lie, but did it really hurt anyone? No.
Yeah.
Did we think we were getting away with it? Yeah. Did my mom probably know? Probably.
Moms know everything.
They know everything.
Jesus.
But yeah, kids lie.
Yeah, so very nice characterization for Louie, and characterizing them more as kids.
Exactly.
They're kids. They're very clearly kids, not they're kids in the OG, but in the original series, they don't have personality, so that cancels out anything else. So then we get the clip that I've seen a billion times of the kids in the submarine. We get a little Launchpad joke on that, how because Scrooge for some reason trusted Launchpad with piloting in a sub, not knowing. He asked him at this point when they're in the sub in the ocean, have you piloted a sub before?
And Launchpad's well, I sunk a helicopter in a way to pull one.
Yeah. And Scrooge is close enough.
Yeah,
okay. Okay. You have a lot of faith in this guy. And we get a lot more of Dewey. So this part of the premiere especially focuses on Dewey a lot, which is a very big difference from the original series, where none of the kids got focus ever.
Yeah. Sometimes they weren't even in episodes.
Yeah, they'd be gone for multiple episodes sometimes.
It's bye. And it's it makes sense because he was the one that we saw struggling the most.
Yes, in the original one, in the first part. In the first part, he was the most affected by Scrooge, by Scrooge's
lack of concern and affection for them, or no, he's not wanting to get to know them.
Like lack of interest in them.
Yeah, there we go. And so in this one, Dewey is very much trying to get Scrooge's attention to prove himself. Like he's like, okay, he's like first mate Dewey here. Like, what can I do?
Yeah.
And he's pushing buttons, trying to help.
There's still that sense of like family tension that's going
definitely.
on.
Like Scrooge has them with him along on this trip, but it's his adventure.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want the kids interfering. He's like, you're here to watch me have an adventure.
Exactly.
You're here to watch me do this cool shit.
You're here to like see me prove that I am like I'm current. I'm still.
Yes, I'm an am now.
Exactly.
As he says.
And it's like it's a difference because in the original, like the first part closes and it's like everything's good. Okay, we're all good friends now.
Yeah.
And like obviously there's no continuity really in the original.
The original series is like the continuity beyond that. These characters exist and know each other.
Yeah, like they're related.
They're related.
But here it's like there's obviously gonna be continuity. It's obviously building up to something, and it's like so exciting. Like
it's really exciting. Like we're getting actual character dynamics and actual character interaction and actual character personality. These characters have personalities now and more depth than they ever had.
You don't have to like assume a lot about certain characters.
Yeah, now, a lot of it is subtle, but you can infer from it. But a lot of it is just out there. Like the kids' personalities. We get a little cute thing with Huey in this first part. Huey, who is the oldest, who loves road trips and has made road trip shirts. Has made like a
list,
bingo or something, like road trip bingo. He has snacks and music.
He has his playlist. Yeah. He's ready to go.
He has his whole plan. And Dewey, of course, is like, nope, no boring stuff. Fun adventure time for me.
Yeah.
So just nice character thing, especially for Huey, who we've gotten the least of any of the triplets, which makes me very sad because I love Danny Booty. Hopefully, we'll get more of Huey. Because he's great. And so Dewey tries to help unsuccessfully.
He presses random buttons.
And Scrooge hurries to fix whatever he might have messed up. And then
Launchpad is so chill about this child being on his lap pressing buttons.
So we get very little from Launchpad from this point on.
Yeah.
Which makes me upset.
Same.
But also, which I noticed right away, just because Launchpad in the original series does not stop talking.
He's always got a witty comment.
He's got a quip or like a funny observation.
Are we over the lost world yet? We must be. How can you tell? We're lost.
Or sexist
joke.
He does, and also like in the original, it's always like, here's my speech about being a hero.
Yes.
And here it's like, I'm gonna do my job. I'm doing my job.
Yeah. So he does not talk after that wave pool comment. He doesn't talk again. Like
for a while.
Really? Yeah. Which I noticed obviously right away because original one does not stop talking and upset me a little bit because I love this Launchpad. I'm really excited to know more about him, to hear more from him, and so I was a little disappointed that he didn't talk more. But
it's the beginning.
So I'm allowing it because it's the very beginning. So Dewey tries to help unsuccessfully. Launchpad straps him into his seat. Scrooge does. Launchpad is not saying anything. He's piloting. And Scrooge straps him in and goes to like map out their trajectory. And another funny joke. Dewey's like, he's like, nah. He's like, Scrooge and I, like, we've got this. Like, we got that classic banner. He's like, it's cool.
Classic moments.
Yeah, but Huey...
He's like, I don't even think he knows her name.
Yeah. And Dewey's like, excuse me? And he's like, and Huey responds, I think he called me Herbert once. And Scrooge only, and Dewey's like, nah, he knows who we are. And so he tries to get Scrooge's attention, and Scrooge just brushes him off, doesn't call him by his actual name.
Sonny Jim.
Sonny Jim. And Scrooge plans a trajectory that goes around a lot of dangerous things, which disappoints Dewey because it's longer.
Yeah, he goes around a few like islands. Like he wraps around them for no reason.
He wraps
to be
around
honest.
them. Yeah, it's fun cartoon stuff.
Yeah.
But so there's like a cartoon like squid, a mermaid, like classic like a lady duck, like, and then like a weird
buff
pillow man, I guess.
He's like a peanut.
He does. And so Dewey seeing this, seeing how long it'll take 16 hours following this map.
This entire thing.
And so Dewey, what he does, he takes the map and secretly he changes the course. Only Launchpad's looking at the map at this point.
But he keeps falling asleep.
And at one point, Scrooge just whacks him with his cane.
That was my favorite moment. He whacks him, and he's like,
I'm piloting. Yep, good. And so Dewey changes the course to go through all these dangerous things.
A straight line through everything.
Straight line, yeah. Because in the little drawings, they don't look scary. No, they're cartoony, and I wonder if Scrooge drew them.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Too. And so Dewey changes course. And this takes them through, we see a smash cut of these horrible monsters. We get the Kraken.
The Kraken surrounding the little sub.
The sub.
Everyone's yelling.
Everyone's screaming. And then we get the mermaids, who don't look like these pretty duck mermaids. They're horrible duck fish people.
Yeah. They're
who are huge. And then we get the Pillow Man was a sentient storm monster.
Yeah. It's the best, and
it's good. Just smash cut to all of these things. There's no how they get away. No, smash cut. Very funny. But they're alive and they're close to Atlantis now. But Huey has to go to the bathroom.
And there's a sea monster looking thing in their bathroom. One of the mermen.
Duck merman fish monsters is in there. He's climbing up through the toilet.
And so gender-neutral bathrooms, by the way.
Very nice. And so they stop, as Launchpad remarks, at the suspiciously unmarked tanker, which is Glomgold's tanker.
Yes.
And we get the cutest thing. We get Donald trying to show these hardened criminals pictures of his kids.
And he's wearing his little blue outfit.
We see he's a picture of Dewey first learning to walk, and
his mattress.
Big more glimpses at Donald overprotectiveness. He has Dewey on a mattress. He's wearing a baseball mitt to catch him, and the mattress is surrounded by pillows. So we can assume this is when Donald's already started raising them.
They're very small.
Yes, they're very young.
When do kids walk? I don't know.
A year?
Kids. Yeah.
About a year?
Ish, right?
Almost a year. Yeah. When they're almost a year old, they start to walk.
Okay, yeah. That's, so young.
Yeah, that's very young. And the next one is Huey is the water boy.
Yeah, and he's still wearing the football gear.
Yeah, so did Donald make him wear that then?
I think so. I don't think...
Because they don't make water boys wear those.
No. From sports movies I've seen, they don't wear them. I don't play sports.
I don't know. What's a sport? I know what a football looks like.
But he's showing them. Yeah,
she was showing them
Gabby, right?
To first the wolf people, the Smashnikov brothers. I forgot their last name. I think it's Smashnikov. But they don't seem very interested, and so he shows them to Gabby McStaverson.
Who is sharpening
a wooden. She's carving a wooden knife
with her really
big ass sword. And he's showing more pictures, and we see a little bit more of Donald. How much the kids matter to him.
Yeah.
He says how they really need this job, they do, not him. They do. More glimpses into how Donald's whole life revolves around the kids right now.
He's doing everything for the kids to raise them.
Yeah.
You know, money is a really big part of why he's probably so tired. Yeah, obviously it's why he's so tired. Why the kids know these things that he works so much.
Yeah, they definitely do. But his overprotectiveness is still too much for him to handle. And so we do more of how Donald's life just revolves around the kids. That's all he talks about with strangers.
Yeah, and it's been a few hours, days maybe.
It's been, I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's been 2 days.
Yeah, and he's I miss them so much, and it's it's so sweet.
Yeah, it's very sweet, but
at the same time, it's they've only been gone for a little bit,
for a couple days. And so, it's a lot of glimpses into this new Donald. This Donald as a parent, as how his whole life, as I said, revolves around him being a parent.
Yeah.
And so we just get that, and he's asking them about their families, But at this point, they see that Scrooge has docked onto their ship, so they can use their bathroom.
And there's a Scrooge patiently waiting.
Impatiently. He's like arms crossed, tapping his foot. And Glumgo's like, I knew he would come.
Yeah.
Like, suspicious weather patterns, like right over a place of treasure. Of course, Scrooge is here.
Yeah.
And Donald, and so they're watching this on the security cameras, and they see the bathroom open up, and the kids come out.
Yeah.
And Donald freaks out. He runs back to wash his hands, which is nice. And Donald's like, Scrooge, what the fuck? I'm going to kill him.
Uh-huh.
And Glomgold, like, we get more glimpses into this more. How do you describe this Glomgold who's willing to kill people?
He's more like
brutal.
Yeah, like brutal, treacherous. Sort of more is like his ambition is on the murdering side. He's like original OG Glomgold was willing to murder people, but it wasn't ever as like apparent as this. Yeah.
Like Donald says, I'm going to kill Scrooge for bringing the kids, and Glomgold is like, he's like, good idea, like take the jewels and kill them all.
Yeah, like he's like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so they're not holding back on this Glomgold, which I really appreciate. It's funny, but you're like, oh shit. He's willing to kill these guys.
Yeah.
And Donald is understandably concerned.
Mm-hmm. He's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Now I like sort of gave the order to kill.
Yeah. And what Donald assumes is that Glomgold does not know he is Scrooge's nephew.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Donald assumes.
I think, yeah. Well, I assumed that as well.
Yeah. That's what, because Glomgold doesn't give any indication that he knows that they're related.
Mm-hmm.
And so the kids and Scrooge, they arrive at Atlantis, which is upside down. The whole thing is upside down because he reads these hieroglyphics that say that the Atlanteans built this huge city of death traps, but they couldn't figure out a proper support structure, and so the whole thing
flips.
It flipped and fell into the ocean.
Yeah.
So really nice detail that the whole thing is upside down. It makes for a lot of really fun gags.
It did. Yeah. I was like, oh.
Alright, at this point we finally have Webby calling Mrs. Beakley, telling her where she is, and lying.
But she's very, very bad at it.
She's really bad at lying. What does she do? She yells very quickly, she's like, hi, I'm at a friend's house and nothing is wrong, and just hangs up.
And Louis like, oh no,
yeah, you don't got this.
You don't got
shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so that happens. So Webby's very bad at lying. We see, and meanwhile Scrooge is translating the hieroglyphics. And we see that Dewey ran in immediately when Scrooge read the word death traps.
Yeah, he just bolted.
When Scrooge had wanted them to stay at the submarine. He's like, this might be a little bit too dangerous for you guys, I'll go in. So they follow after Dewey, who's just running.
He just went. He went ham. And then it pans out
to
the villains. And we see that Glumgold gives the order, right?
Yeah.
To
kill
Launchpad. And Gabby, right? That's her name. Yeah, she throws
these knives, like a bunch of them. But Donald is like, oh shit, he's gonna kill someone. She's gonna kill someone. He pretends to fall on her, messing up her aim. And so
Launchpad lives another day.
Donald saves Launchpad from near death.
But in turn, Donald almost gets his head cut off.
Yes. He has to come up with something really quick, if we kill them now, we can't torture them later. Mm-hmm. And Glomgold's he's like, genius. He's like, great idea. It's good. Let's do that.
Yeah, he's like, at this point, does he say I don't even know why I hired her? No, not yet. Yeah. Later. Okay.
But he's like, we're gonna go after Scrooge. It's the kilt part is now, right?
Yeah. He's like, I'm wearing a kilt.
He's like, I'll prove. He's like, Scrooge thinks he's so rich and so Scottish. Well, I'm wearing a kilt.
A kilt.
And he screams this. How does Scrooge not hear this?
Exactly. But
it's very echoey here, I'm sure. But so they follow after Scrooge, and Scrooge and everyone else runs into where Dewey is. they were worried that the death traps would get him. But since everything's upside down, so are the death traps.
And Dewey looks so, like, mad about it.
He's very mad.
Because he's sitting on the ground with, like, his arms crossed.
Yeah.
And up, like, on the roof, which is the ground, it's, like...
The buzzsaws.
The buzzsaws. And he's, like, stupid upside down.
And, like, Scrooge, like tells him, don't go anywhere, don't touch anything.
Mm-hmm.
And Dewey's like, fucking whatever. And he kicks a rock, which hits another death trap thing, and drops a whole, like, 50 snakes.
What used to be a pit of snakes.
Yeah. I know, I'm like, why are there snakes upside down? It was a pit of snakes that you're supposed to, like, fall into.
Yeah. I didn't realize it until last time I rewatched it. What that
I realized it now! I didn't think about it till now. So he drops these snakes, which, like, 50 of them, that just fall straight onto Launchpad.
He's dead?
He's dead. He should be dead.
And then, like, the thing is, Scrooge just doesn't give a damn.
He doesn't acknowledge it.
At all.
Like, they just leave Launchpad, and they're like, he's like, are you saying you have to get a new chauffeur? Who's gonna pilot the sub now?
And then at this point...
Mrs. Weekly calls again.
Back.
And, Webby has to think of another lie. She says that they're at their friend's house, and that isn't Uncle Hampus? No, that's later.
Yeah, it's that one.
Isn't Hampus later?
Yeah, no, right now.
Because Launchpad falls and then says the Swedish thing.
That's why. It's right now.
He falls now, but later he falls because it says the Swedish thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first time, Mrs. Beakley calls back again, and she comes up with the Webby lie that she says the friend's name is Sabina, and then hangs up. And Launchpad, who has been bitten by like 50 snakes, and still has snakes.
He has like drool coming out.
Yeah, like he looks like it's all like puffy anaphylactic look, like he's been bitten by venomous snakes.
He still has like 3 snakes stuck to him.
He has like a punch, like there's one down his shirt, there's like wrapped around his arm and still biting him, and he like clambers over the rock and he's like, "Blah, blah," and Huey's like, "You okay?" And he yells. So he's like, "I'm everybody's friend." He's like, a little snake man. I've never hurt anyone.
And he passes out for a little bit.
He collapses on Huey, and Huey just screams because Launchpad is huge.
Yes. He is one of the ducks that has to wear pants.
Yeah, because he's so tall. And Donald hears Huey screaming, and so he runs into like an adjacent room.
Is it his bathroom excuse or not yet?
Yes, yeah, bathroom excuse. And so Scrooge just leaves Launchpad to like lets the kids help him. He's been bitten by like 50 snakes. And so Dewey and Scrooge go into the next room.
Mm-hmm.
And
laser room.
Yeah, it's another death trap. It's a upside down wooden bridge. Wood rope bridge.
Yeah.
Wooden rope bridge. Rope bridge. Fuck. Whatever. The bridge.
A bridge made out of wooden rope.
Yeah. Thanks. And has these cool like laser things going across it. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, Donald is right underneath them, but he's too high up for them to see him or hear him, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he doesn't want to like draw attention from Glomgold or whatever. And Scrooge passes his cane through one of the lights, one of the beams, and like fire explodes out of the ground right behind Donald.
Yeah,
and it like
singes
his tail feathers. And he sees that Scrooge and Dewey are going to like cross this, and he's like, "Oh shit, Dewey is going to die."
Yeah.
And so Dewey, wanting to prove himself to Scrooge,
he is gonna do it.
He's
Scrooge
gonna do
is
it.
like, we'll look for another way.
Yeah.
You know, like this is level like 10 adventure,
yeah.
and you guys
You're
are
level 0.
Yeah.
And Dewey's like, "That sounds like a challenge," and he's like, "I have to stress, it's not a challenge." He's like, which is exactly what you would say, like, to, like, keep me from, like, accepting the challenge. And he's like, there's no challenge.
He's like the old meme, like, challenge accepted.
Yes, that's this whole moment. And so Dewey, like, dances across the bridge, not avoiding the light beams at all, even though he just saw that it's spews fire.
I don't know how.
What was his plan?
I don't know what his plan was, because he manages to hit all of them in the worst way.
And Scrooge doesn't try to stop him again.
Yeah. Scrooge fucking what? He like I don't know, he could have limboed through them, but he doesn't do that. Like, he, like, catapults into them.
Yeah.
Like, the reverse of everything you're supposed to be
It's
doing.
really funny.
I love it. His little song.
He's doing this song that apparently, I think Ben Schwartz is the name of the voice actor that he improvised, and they animated this scene too, which is really nice. And meanwhile, Donald, underneath, has to save Dewey's life this
He has
whole
a
time.
shield, right?
Yeah, he grabs a shield off the ground with a bunch of other dead bodies. Grabs a shield and is, like, covering the fire, like the spouts of fire that are shooting out, keeping Dewey safe. Like, he's rushing to each one.
Another like Donald being a badass.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm like bless.
Yeah, and obviously, and the kids obviously don't see this.
Yeah.
So he keeps it off from killing Dewey, but Dewey stops and his foot is still on a light beam.
I don't know, Dewey, like, I love you, but fuck.
And so Don has to, like, keep the shield on this, like, shooting fire for a long time, and it's burning his hands.
Exactly. And meanwhile, Scrooge
just leaps with his cane, grabs one of the ropes of the bridge, and just swings down, and then swoops up. Like, in a second.
Exactly, like, badass. Again, another shit-eating grin from Scrooge.
Yes.
But then Dewey gets mad, though.
Yes.
He's like...
But Scrooge says this line that's, I believe, just from the original series, that you need to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And he starts lecturing Dewey, like, if you want to be adventuring with me, you have to, adventure smarter. And Dewey gets mad, justifiably, because Scrooge has not been treating him like an equal. Or even, like, teaching him. Like, he tells him, teach me then. If I don't know this stuff, teach me. Don't just tell me I can't. Or, like, lump us all together and leave us back at the sub. Like, teach us. Like, because he points out that Scrooge, like we said, Scrooge is not adventuring with them. They're watching him adventure.
Yeah, and it's like, if you want, don't yell at me for not having this knowledge if you're not going to bother to teach me.
Yeah.
And it's his little moment. I'm like, bless.
Yeah, so he gets mad also because Scrooge doesn't bother to know their names.
No, yeah.
Like, he asked him, like, he told him that Scrooge is lumping them all together. And Scrooge is like, no, I'm not. And he's like, okay, then which triplet am I? Who am I? And Scrooge doesn't know.
Bluey. Which is what my brother called him. Yeah. My brother, I was like telling my brother, which one are they? And he's like, Huey, Louie, and Bluey. I'm like, no!
But yeah, so Dewey is justifiably mad, and this is really good. It's a really good thing that they focused this episode on him, because as the middle child, he has, as we said, this whole focus on wanting to stand out. And obviously with Donald, he knows who they are.
Yeah.
It's not an issue with Donald, but with Scrooge, who he looks up to, who he wants to appreciate him, doesn't even know his name.
No.
This hero, who they've known for years, turns out to be their uncle.
And he's just one of three.
Yeah, and he's just one of three. Just that's how Scrooge sees him. One of three. Like, nameless. Like, just someone to watch him go on an adventure. When that's not what Dewey wants.
Exactly.
He wants to be in the adventure. So that was a very nice scene.
And also, like, just the comment about not lumping us together. It's like, to everyone who watches this, don't lump us together.
Yeah, like, the triplets are no longer one entity. They're all distinct characters now. So that was also very nice.
Which is, I don't know why people are getting mad about that, but...
I know. Whatever. So Dewey finally moves his foot from the laser beam, but not before the fire. Donald loses control of the shield, and the fire shoots up. It obviously misses Dewey.
Oops.
Names too similar. But it destroys the bridge.
Yeah.
So the kids, so Webby, Louie, and Huey, and Launchpad who's being supported by
these kids,
Louie and Huey. They have to find another way around. But Dewey presses on, and Scrooge follows him. He's like, all right, okay. So they follow. They continue on. I'm sorry. And meanwhile, Donald on the ground is like, oh, thank God they're not dead. And he just, like, collapses.
He collapses completely. And that's when the gang...
Yeah, Glomgold and his gang show
come
up.
in. And they're like, this is not the bathroom.
And it's actually a shortcut to the treasure room, which Glomgold compliments him on finding. And Donald's still sprawled on the ground. He tells one of his gang to pick him up. And so they just drag him by the ankle out of the room. Yeah, he just hitting his head on rocks. Yeah, so next scene, Glomgold finds the treasure room, mounts the treasure. It's pretty cool. He finds, like, a hand sticking out of the ground holding a big red crystal. And he takes it. He's like, I found the gem of Atlantis. And above, Dewey and Scrooge are watching this, and Dewey's like who's that guy? Mm-hmm. And Scrooge responds that it's Glumgold, like a poor man's version of him, which still makes him insanely rich.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was very nice to acknowledge. He's still very rich, just not the richest.
Yeah.
And they see and then they see that they have Donald with them. Mm-hmm. That they're dragging Donald behind them, not knowing that Donald is there willingly.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh shit, they have Donald. Oh shit. And so
Dewey rushes down.
Oh yeah, they both rush down. And a very nice touch. Scrooge jumps into the gold coins,
and he burrows.
Yeah, he burrows down. Like he doesn't very nice touch because we only rarely see him in the original series swim in gold. That's not his. Mm-hmm. And so to see him just it applies to all gold. It was really funny when I saw that. Oh god! And then Dewey. He slides down. He's like, "Give us back our uncle." No. Uncle just no. And Dewey just oh shit, I didn't expect this.
Yeah.
But then Scrooge jumps out of the gold and uses his cane to hook him by the ankle and he's standing on him with his cane in his face.
A really nice action shot.
Really nice. It was a really nice scene. And Donald is because Donald asks Glumgold what the fuck are you doing here? Mm-hmm. And Donald is like, what the fuck are you doing here, Scrooge? I thought you were watching the kids.
Yeah, you were supposed to watch these kids.
Yeah, and I thought you were supposed to keep them safe. And Scrooge is like, they're perfectly safe. And
they're in the room with the fire and the snakes.
Fire and the snakes. And Glumgold reveals that Donald had actually been their prisoner this whole time. Mm-hmm. That he knew Donald was related to Scrooge, and that he was keeping him as a prisoner in this event.
He was going to be their leverage.
Yes. Yeah.
Poor Donald.
Poor Donald. Oh yes. Scrooge. Glumgold reveals that Donald is his employee first, and Scrooge.
Yeah.
Is like, your job is with my arch enemy.
Donald's like, I can't keep track of all your arch enemies.
Which was really funny because Scrooge has so many people hate him. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, so Donald is their prisoner, and so Scrooge and Dewey can't do anything to Glumgold now because they have Donald at weapon point. They all have weapons and they're all dangerous. And so Glumgold traps them all in the treasure room and triggers another death trap. Mm-hmm.
Which Gabby shoots up, right? And
then she throws one of her things, a sigh, I think. And the room seals up and water starts pouring in.
And it's everyone sort of freaks out. I think Donald immediately goes to
he tries to plug the water. The next scene actually is the kids, the other kids, Louie, Webby, Huey, and Launchpad, trying to get Soul just barely climbing down from the destroyed bridge to the ground. And
Huey being like the Woodchuck guidebook says, there's always a way.
Another way around. And at this point, Mrs. Beakley calls Webby again. And Webby answers that her friend's Uncle Hampus from Sweden is here, so we can't talk. It'd be rude. And Louie's like, "Yep, okay, no come back from that lie. You're done.
You're done."
But then Launchpad plummets from several feet up, grabs the phone, still all anaphylactic and snake bitten, and speaks in Swedish to Mrs. Beakley. I don't know what he says, but speaks in full Swedish.
It's that goes back to my is there ulterior motives? What is the connection? What's happening?
We'll get into our theories of Launchpad. And so at that moment, Glumgold and his cronies appear through the doorway, and he tells his cronies to attack a snake-bitten man and 3 kids.
Yeah, they go ham.
Yeah. and then we're back in the flooding treasure room.
Launchpad had said the equivalent to "oh shit," I'm assuming.
Yes, he did when the bad guy showed up. And so Donald's trying to plug the hole that fails. He has his little Donald freak out, and then he gets very mad at Scrooge.
Yeah.
He says he never should have trusted him. That he's like you're crazy, crazy old man. Of course this is gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And Scrooge is like, not now, please, not now. And then Donald says something that got all of our interest. He says, "This is just like the sphere of Selene," which we don't know what that is. And Scrooge replies, "I had nothing to do with that." We don't know what that is. We don't know what that's referencing. And only Dewey hears it, which will be important later. Only Dewey hears what might have caused this tension and separation between Donald and Scrooge. We don't know what the sphere of Selene is.
There are theories about what it is.
Yes, there are lots of theories
especially now that we've had like the newer episodes come up. Yes. It's more like we're starting to piece things together.
Yeah, we have more pieces. That's about it.
That's it. It's still ongoing, and I love this like undergoing plot that's happening.
Yes, I'm really glad there's a greater plot going on. We're leading up to something big.
Yeah, like there's weekly shenanigans and stuff, but there's also like there's something. Meat there's meat.
So Sphere of Selene. So this mention is obviously caught my attention right away, like. Because we still, even with the new episodes, we still don't know what exactly caused the separation between Donald and Scrooge. Why they didn't speak for 10 years. Why Scrooge stopped adventuring for 10 years.
But it's obviously a sore spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very sore spot, whatever this is. And Dewey's the only one to hear it.
Dewey is on a treasure chest.
He is floating.
And
he starts having like a Disney, he's like, I was so caught up in the adventure. And then cuts off. No Disney lesson for you. And he notices that that Atlantis is upside down.
Yes.
And so what Glomgold thought was the Stone of Atlantis that he wanted to get the whole time was not it. That it was actually the one above them, which would have been the one in the center had Atlantis been right side up.
That would have been covered by gold, surrounded by gold.
Gold.
And it's like, again, as this is happening, I guess I'm gonna start taking screenshots of Scrooge's shit-eating grin. Just him being like, okay.
Yeah, keep going. Because Dewey's trying to figure it out, and Scrooge looks proud. He's like, all right, you're figuring it out, keep going.
Yeah.
And so Dewey's right. They let the room flood and take him up to the top.
But before that, he tells him, Donald says, I have to trust you. I have to let go.
Yeah.
And, that wording, you have to let go.
It was especially poignant.
Yeah. It's yes, let go. Trust him.
They're willing to trust the kids.
Yeah. Trust him. This is the right thing to do. And he does it.
Yes, he does. He lets go. And the room starts to flood more, lifting up and up until they're up to the stone. They grab it, and Dewey obviously was right. They don't drown.
Yeah.
The room stops flooding.
Fucked up if they did.
And so the water sinks. The water goes away. And the next scene is they walk in on the next room where of still anaphylactic Launchpad and the kids are fighting Glomgold's henchmen very well. Webby is super skilled and just climbing on Gabby and pulling her hair and it's really cool.
They're kicking ass.
Yeah, they're doing really good. And Donald is surprised but proud of Louis and Hugh's ability to stop these henchmen.
They're using the shirts, right?
Yeah, using the shirts
that Huey had made.
And somehow even anaphylactic Launchpad beats someone up.
Yeah.
I want to see that, but... And then Glomgold is not here, though. We get Glomgold on the radio. We all hey, team. Thanks for distracting Scrooge and his family and letting me take the Jewel of Atlantis.
I can do my getaway.
Yeah, do my getaway. Unfortunately, I have to kill you all.
Yeah.
And...
one of the brothers.
One of the Smashnikov or whatever brothers is he's but I thought employees are the greatest treasure of all.
And he's treasure is the greatest treasure of all. That's why it's called treasure.
And then he fires missiles at Atlantis to sink it and drown them all.
Yeah.
And
he
so
has zero.
Yeah, right away. Bye. I'm gonna kill 4 kids, a bunch of other people. So yeah, he fires the missiles, and everyone's okay. Gotta go. Let's go. We're out. So they run to the sub, and Glomgold's henchmen are Mr. Donald Duck, can we hitch a ride with you, please?
They're they look so sad.
Yeah, they're so we don't die. He paid us very little, and now he's leaving us to die.
He wasn't even gonna give us the lifeguard vest.
Life vest. So they live and they escape, obviously, and Scrooge calls Dewey by his name. He's like, you did a really good job, like Dewey, like good job.
Yeah,
it's sweet. Dewey's very happy.
They're holding the
they're
stone
holding
together.
the huge crystal. And then we're back in Duckburg. Glomgold's giving a speech like, I found the jewel of Atlantis, I am the richest now because I left Scrooge to die.
Yeah.
Like
what?
Never mind.
Like,
what?
if there's not going to be a possible murder investigation.
Yeah. What happened to Scrooge? Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm the baddest bitch. But then Scrooge, like, perfect timing, he timed this. Like, he had Launchpad watching, like, okay, go. Dramatic entrance. So he comes up in the sub, like,
on the hatch.
Yeah, the hatch is open. He's like, I found the real jewel of Atlantis. And Glomgold's like, well, no, this one's the real one. And he's like, what? No, that one's super cursed. And the Kraken comes back, smashes, like, scares all the reporters away that were there gathering for this press conference, smashes everything, takes Glomgold, and bye.
He's dead. Rip. Rest in peace, Glomgold.
Bye, Glomgold. It was nice to see you while you were here. Yes, he comes back with this big crystal that apparently will provide clean energy to Duckburg.
Yeah.
So, like, fuck
I don't know
them,
how that
I guess.
works,
They have, like, clean energy now. No global warming for them, I guess. So, fuck our universe.
But yeah, like, he's, now he's the hero also.
Yeah, and the news reporters are like, holy shit, that's Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows he hasn't been adventuring or doing any cool shit in the last 10 years.
Yeah, like,
so everyone's like, holy shit, Scrooge McDuck. Da da da.
I forgot what the reporter asked him.
She asked him, I don't know either. Like, I don't know what she asked him.
It's muted.
I don't know. Like, I think they asked about, like, because Glom was claiming that his one is the real one. I think he's like, nah, that one's super cursed. And so, yeah, so everyone comes out of the sub, and we get, Beakley shows up.
Yes.
And she's like, and Webby's like, ooh, like, how long did you know? And she's like, yeah, the whole time.
Yeah.
Like
you have no friends, girl.
Yeah, you got no friends. And I guess she assumed that she was included with the kids in going to Atlantis.
I think she was more worried about Webby lying to her, if anything.
Yeah. And then, so she's like, and she tells Webby that as long as you don't lie anymore, you can go with adventures. Go on adventures with Scrooge as much as you like. Because it seems like Miss Beakley trusts Scrooge a lot. Yeah. Which is weird because she trusts Scrooge with her granddaughter's life on these crazy adventures. But why was she keeping Webby in the mansion? Exactly. Because it doesn't look like Webby was there like willingly. Like she didn't want to stay there forever and not make friends.
She wanted to go adventuring. Yeah.
So obviously Scrooge wasn't going on his adventure. So Mrs. Beakley wouldn't trust her with anyone else. Yeah. But what else was keeping her in the mansion? It's like this tension mystery thing that I hope we unveil. We sort of unveil a little bit later. I hope they answer, like, because they never exactly answer why she wouldn't leave the mansion, why she couldn't leave the mansion. They haven't answered that, and so I'm like, well, why? I just want to know why, because that's like the weirdest question that has been answered.
And that's the thing, like I mentioned previously, like that there's actual like dynamic tension between these two people who are related. In the OG, they're related, but like that's it.
The only time they ever interact is when they're like cooking or making beds or doing some weird girly shit.
Yeah, like that's it. Really, like they're related, but there's no like warmth.
There's no genuine affection.
Exactly. There's no affection between them, and here it's like
Scrooge cares more about Webby than her grandmother, who's known her whole life does.
Is she
in the original?
Yeah, is she in the episode where she turns really big?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I just remember Scrooge being worried.
Yeah.
But I don't remember
Beakley being there. Beakley doesn't show up a lot when Webby's in trouble.
Exactly. Like this is your granddaughter. You somehow have her.
Yeah, wait, are we getting a next story happen to Webby's parents?
Exactly. There's a lot of parentless children.
Know. Jesus.
What the fuck?
Like, I wonder if we get anything on Webby, because there's a lot on Webby we don't know yet. We don't know about Webby's parents. We don't know why she was kept in the mansion, which is the bigger concern for me. Yeah. But we'll see if they answer that. I hope they do. I assume they will.
Maybe if not this arc, eventually.
Yeah, just whatever.
I still think Darkwing Duck.
We'll get more into our speculation later. But so Beakley tells her that as long as you adventure with Scrooge, that's fine with me. Just no more lying.
Yeah.
And Donald seeing her reaction, he's like,
this beautiful screenshot that I have right here.
He goes over to Scrooge, and Scrooge, kind of expecting him to be yelled at, tries to calm him down. But Donald's like, no. He's like, he tells him that he supposes that maybe the kids can't see Scrooge, that he's been very overprotective over the kids, and the kids are like a little overprotective, like I'd say a lot, and acknowledges that the kids will constantly get into trouble that he can't always get them out of, and that maybe Scrooge can help them.
Yeah, like get them out of trouble.
Yes, help them get out of trouble.
Yeah.
But he puts that they'll only hang out like rarely, like on birthdays and like federal holidays. But then the boat blows up. We see Donald's houseboat in the background because they're at the docks, and the boat promptly explodes.
And everyone glares.
Everyone turns to Dewey because Dewey left the engine running on the houseboat when he tried to hotwire it 2 days ago. Oh shit! Yeah. Like 2 days ago.
Yeah, like that house is fun. It's like today in the morning when I walked downstairs and I saw that someone had left the stove on.
Oh god.
There was no pot.
Like fire?
Yes.
Oh god.
There was no pot of like boiling anything. It was just on.
Oh god.
And I'm gonna be like, what the fuck, you guys? We're gonna die in this house.
Oh my god. Roommates are the best. We're not gonna get into that. But yes, the houseboat explodes behind them, and Scrooge, they're now homeless.
Yeah, they are.
But Scrooge, at that moment, offers to let them live at his mansion.
Yeah, he's like,
it's fucking huge.
Yeah,
he's like,
I have a lot of rooms.
Yeah, he's like, you guys can live there. And Donald's like, okay.
Yeah.
And so they will. They're going to live there.
Yeah. And then the boys are celebrating.
Yeah, they're celebrating.
Mostly Dewey.
Dewey is like doing the worm. He's breakdancing. And we get the news reporter kind of just like peeping in on him, like, She's like, Scrooge McDuck is back. His family is back. His family is with him.
Yeah.
He's not back. We don't know his family.
They're
going to be, what's the line? They're going to be discovering mysteries and rewriting history.
And I was like,
I messed up that first part, but yes. And what's that mystery? Solving mysteries. God damn it! I aced the do you know the lines? Every line of the Ducktales song quiz. Damn it! Solving mysteries and rewriting history.
And it's like there, and then it goes to Launchpad helping Donald bring the houseboat into the pool.
Into Scrooge's pool. He has like a crane, and he just drops it into the pool. Makes a very big splash.
And he's like,
did I do good? Is it good?
Donald looks so mad.
He's pissed. Because it's already super destroyed, and it's even more destroyed. And then we get this next scene, the last scene, is the Scrooge playing with the kids, like they're play fighting. It's very cute.
It's very sweet. Dewey's putting some artifacts away in a box.
Yeah. And we get this last scene that killed me. Okay, because Dewey notices the painting that was on the very beginning. So they're in the room of secrets or the garage, and there's the painting that's Scrooge and Donald on the sailboat, the torn painting. We didn't say that before. The torn painting, and he sees there's Scrooge fighting the ghost pirate, and Donald swinging from a rope. But he notices that Donald isn't looking at Scrooge. He's looking up
at the corner that's
torn. And so Huey fixes the corner.
And there he sees...
And who do we see?
The mysterious Della Duck.
We see the kid's mom.
And that's how it ends.
He's like, Mom? And that's how it ends.
Yeah.
And then, like, my brain exploded. Like...
I remember I yelled.
God.
I think I was, like, live screenshotting this to Anna when I first watched it, and it was just me and a series of emojis being like, what?
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Because, like, God, like, people who've read comics, watched the cartoons, who know these characters know that we've never heard of what happened to the parents. These kids just live with Donald, no explanation offered. Like, that's it.
That's
all. It. No, never any mention of the parents, ever. So, in the life and times of Scrooge McDuck, we do see Donald and his twin sister Della when they're very young. Mm-hmm. And in European comics, I think Dutch comics, we do see Della older. We see like little Donald and Della adventures when they're young, and we see Donald and Della when they're older. But in American comics, what happens to Della is never explained. We never know who she marries or who she has these kids with. Mm-hmm. His name is never released. Like in the Don
Mystery Man.
Yeah, in the Don Rosa family tree of McDuck, the McDuck family tree, it's in an actual tree, which is nice, but the face and name of the triplets' dad is covered, which is funny. But I'm like, Rosa. So we may not get the dad. I assume we will, because it's like
they're going there. Like,
yeah, they're definitely going there. So maybe we'll get the dad. I don't give a shit about dad, because we're getting Della Duck, who is dead, is gone at least, and so obviously huge deal.
Yeah, because
we're getting an answer.
Yeah, we're getting an answer to a question that like a lot of people probably didn't even know they had.
Yeah.
Like, for growing up, I don't think I really knew who the triplets were in relation to Donald, because I didn't watch a lot of, like, I didn't have cables. I didn't watch a lot of them. But then, like, now it's like my brother was like, you're like, what's the relation? I'm like, oh, they're like his sister's kids. And then he's like, oh, where's the sister? And I'm like, that's the thing. Like,
who knows?
No one knows. There's a lot of different, like, maybe, like, theories, and now we're going to get an answer.
We're getting an actual answer. And this, as you know, as is obvious, and from the next episodes, is going to be an overarching plot.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to get an answer.
I'm very excited.
Super excited. Like, beyond excited. Like, this is more than I could have ever hoped for. Because starting out, I didn't think we'd get an answer.
Mm-mm. Like, that's, like I said, like, it's not a question I thought would ever get.
Yeah, because it's never been answered.
Uh-huh.
Like, no one bothered. And now this show is going above and beyond to answer this. Mm-hmm.
And the hiatus from this episode was crazy.
Oh my god, a month! I can't believe it was a month! Jesus! And now we're getting an episode every week for, like, 2 months, which is great.
Amazing.
And I'm really excited.
Yes, and we will try to do our best to catch up.
Yeah, we'll do our best to catch up.
Yeah.
But this was a much longer episode than will normally be. Mm-hmm. That made sense. And so I lost my point, but
it's also like the premiere was very long, which is why this podcast episode will also be very long. I'm looking at the time right now. It is 2 hours and a half.
Wow! Holy
and we're
shit.
not done because
we've been talking about ducks for 2.5 hours,
which is not weird because
it's not weird for us actually. Sadly enough. Like, Matt, if you're listening, it's not normal. This is weird. We never talk this long about ducks, I promise.
We totally don't used to stand outside of Anna's house.
No, we did not. No, we did not. We did not. We talked about lots of things.
We did, totally.
But yeah, let me see, do we have
a few...
Oh, we got questions, that's right, we got questions!
We got questions because we have a few followers. If you haven't followed us yet on Tumblr at Amores Patos Podcast.
Yeah, Amores Patos Podcast
at
Tumblr.
You can also follow us on Twitter.
On Twitter, at the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then our Gmail is also Amores Patos Podcast at gmail.com.
And we'll put that in the show notes, so you don't have to try to understand this or whatever. It'll be in the show notes.
Exactly.
Yes, we got some questions from some very nice listeners, or not listeners, future listeners, hopefully.
We hope.
We hope you'll listen to this monstrosity.
Yes. First question from Anonymous on Tumblr was, what is your favorite episodes from the original?
All right.
I have to look at the titles again.
Was it Double O Duck?
Yeah, Double O Duck or like Fenton's episodes.
Yeah.
Because those are actually the first episodes I watched with Anna.
Yeah.
I was at her house. She kidnapped me.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, we're going to watch the episodes with my favorite character. It's 5 of them. Sit down. Here's popcorn. Enjoy.
It was the best. It's so good. I love Fenton, and we'll really get deep into him.
We'll get very deep into... We haven't even seen him, and we love him.
Oh, yes.
So we'll get into that.
But yeah, how about yours?
My favorites... I think definitely Fenton's introductory episode, and when he becomes Gizmo Duck, he's great at Gizmo Duck. But I also really love the episode The Masked Mallard. It's really good. I definitely recommend watching it. It has great animation, really good jokes, and it's like it becomes like Duckburg becomes Gotham and Scrooge becomes Batman with all of that it entails. So a different animation style, looks more like a comic, like dark etching and like cool shots. Very good episode. I love it. So definitely The Masked Mallard.
The Masked Mallard. Okay. The second question is also from Anonymous. Is one thing that you don't like about the reboot?
Mine is, well, I wish I got more of Launchpad, but that's still the beginning. I don't know. I think just how little we got of Launchpad, and I'm really hoping we get Scrooge and Scrooge and Webby interacting, because so far they've had the least interaction, which is meaning none. They have not spoken to each other.
And they should, because
she's been living in his house.
Exactly. Yeah. I think one of the things I don't like is also the lack of Launchpad.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't know, like...
It's a good thing there's not too much either, which is good.
Exactly. But yeah, I think that's it. And also the joke that I have, that I want to see Gandra D.
God, no.
Listeners,
we'll bring that up later.
Just Gandra D. She needs to be here.
God.
We have another question from Gmail.
Oh, also, if you message us anonymously, like you can, if you want to give us like a fake name or your first name, just so to give you a little credit, because like I love whenever podcasts like name me, like it's like Anna asked us this, and I'm like, that's me. So if you want to give us a fake name,
anything,
anything, just so just to make you feel better,
we can know, you'll be you're the first people who are asking us stuff, so
and you're anonymous.
That's big.
Yeah.
So okay, a question from Ellie.
Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie. All-time favorite character from the Ducktales franchise.
Jesus. Try to harder question next time, Ellie.
It's hard. I mean,
it's hard.
Like Fenton, I love him a lot.
Original series,
I
I love Fenton and I love Scrooge, even though Scrooge could really be a dick a lot of the time. I loved him. Because you have to like Scrooge, he's a good character. Even if he can be very dumb and mean sometimes.
Fair.
For this new DuckTales, I don't know. They're all really good. I really like Scrooge. This is like everything I could have wanted from Scrooge, and they're doing it very well. But I love everyone in this new one.
Like, my favorite from the OG is obviously Fenton, but also, like, Launchpad. But the thing about that is, there are moments where I don't like him. Yeah. He is an asshole sometimes.
He's a douche a lot.
Yeah, and it's like, I love him a lot more in Darkwing Duck.
Yes. Like, we'll get into Darkwing Duck more, but Launchpad is so much better written in
cover
Darkwing Duck.
some Darkwing Duck, depending.
Yeah, I think, on, like, probably during hiatuses, we might do, like, an episode of Darkwing or an episode of DuckTales, just for a little something new while we're waiting.
Yeah. But yeah, like, that's that thing, like, I like Launchpad, but I'm very excited to see what they do with him.
Yeah.
Because, my God, some of his comments.
Yikes. We'll probably go into those later. Yeah. We'll get into the horrible comments he makes later.
When they remake episodes, and we'll be able to do more comparisons.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it, right? Oh, and before we go, we want to make sure we give credit again to Dystopian Graffiti, or Fenton, on Tumblr, who made our amazing cover art that he kept saying, he sent us like the sketch and then like the line art, and I was like, oh my god, it's so nice.
I was like showing everyone. I was like,
such super nice.
The thing that's happening, like, it's crazy.
Like we can't thank him enough. Like it makes us look so legitimate.
I know. I'm very proud of it.
So thanks again to Fenton, and make sure you check out his Tumblr at Dystopian Graffiti on. And we'll put that in the show notes too. Put a link to that, so just make it easier for you. Yeah, I think that's about it, right?
That's about it. Yes. Once again, I am Fabi. You can find me at lovetheinsane.tumblr.com.
And I'm Anna. You can find me at mightyant@tumblr.com. And thanks for listening.
We're looking forward to
doing more episodes and hearing from you guys. Hopefully this didn't go too horribly.
It's complicated.
Yeah. And it's our first episode, so we promise to probably get better along the line.
Exactly. But thank you so much for listening. Hopefully, it's
Hopefully,
long.
Yeah, hopefully
you made it through.
Hopefully you made it through. We'll do to shorten this because yikes.
That was big.
But yeah, so I hope that you laughed with us and enjoyed this with us. And yeah, thanks again.